Hey everyone, today I'm doing a podcast show about, how are you all by the way? I hope you're well. Today I'm doing a podcast show on the 10 secrets to eating well and losing weight safely. Does that interest you? I'm just moving around in my chair, so I have a beautiful cup of tea. Does that topic interest you? You know, it interests so many people. It's such a popular topic. And as many of you know, my history is being a personal trainer. I was a personal trainer in university, and it was the career that got me through university. And then after university, I kept going back to it. I was fascinated with the connection between well-being, being well, and your physical self. As I've got older, that concept or that perception of my well-being has really changed. It used to be about having a six-pack and maintaining that six-pack, and now it is a lot more sense of self-based. But I still need to, want to, and strive to have a healthy physical self. And part of that physical self for me, that healthy physical self, is to be very fit and very strong. I've competed 9 times in natural bodybuilding. Fine cup of tea here. It's about 8 o'clock at night, and the crickets are out. I don't know if you can hear them, but they're out gloriously singing along, the beautiful crickets. The kids are doing different things fairly quietly. Let's see if they can stay quiet. And I thought I would grab this moment to chat to you about how to eat well and lose weight safely in my secrets. And you know I love ASMR and I love meditation, but changing your body is the topic I know back the front, because since the age of about 11, I have been pretty unhappy with my physical self, and I was pretty unhappy right through to about 28, I think. And then I became much more satisfied with my physical self. And I get so many letters from all of you, or many of you, saying, how do I change my body? How do I stay healthy? How do I stay fit? So, drum roll, let's go through the 10 secrets. When I use the word secret, it's a pretty good word because a lot of people do the wrong things to change their body. A lot of people are barking up the wrong tree in the direction they're taking to change their body. A lot of people do the same thing repeatedly that just doesn't work. I had one client, I'll tell you the story, that came to me for personal training, I think about 5 years ago. And I was explaining to her my system, which I call the Be Remarkable system. And she said, well, why can't I keep doing, was Diet Watches or whatever the program was at the time, where she had to buy a particular food and calorie count. And she said, well, why can't I keep doing Diet Watches? And I said, what do you mean keep doing Diet Watches? And she said, well, it works, so I keep doing it. And I said, well, if it works, if it truly works, why do you have to keep doing it? If something works, my friend, we generally do it once, and that's it. We can tick that tick. Of course, something like keeping fit is about maintenance, but if you want to change your body, you take on a strategy and you just do it, and it works. So if you have to keep going back to it, by definition, it's not really working, is it? It's not really working. And I remember seeing this look of awareness suddenly flow over her face, this kind of aha moment. I get it. And that's how it was for me. When I was age 11, 12, 13, I used to spend my pocket money on sweet things. And I had some favourite foods. I love vanilla slice. I love Neenish tarts. Oh, gee whiz. And I also love condensed milk. Yes, that's true, my friends. I used to buy cans of condensed milk with my pocket money and sneak into my bedroom and eat the whole can because it was so delicious. It was comfort food. It made me feel comforted when I was at a loss as to who I am and where I was going in life. I would eat this comfort food and I'd feel good for about 30 seconds. And then I would feel not so good because I did something which was not good for me, did not have longevity. It made me feel good for 30 seconds, 60 seconds, maybe a little bit longer. It's the same with fish and chips. I'd eat fish and chips and I think, yay, I feel so good. Uh-oh, I don't feel so good anymore. So a question we can ask ourselves when we look for comfort, and comfort's really important. When you look for comfort in your life, how sustainable is it? Look at the long-term effects of your behaviour. When don't we look at long-term effects of our behaviour? When we're distracted, when we're stressed, when we're busy. So some of the answers are inherent in that. When we're distracted, stressed, busy, sad, we look for quick fixes or we look for self-medication. Self-medication is when we use something to just take the edge off our present condition. So it could be like grabbing McDonald's on the way home from an event that we didn't really enjoy, or when we have a relationship loss, we reach for the chocolate. We need to ask ourselves, when, where, in what situation is this okay? My friends, I think there are definitely times where comfort foods are okay. When are these times? When do you think it's okay to have comfort food? I know with relationship loss, perhaps there are times when it's occurred that you say to yourself, okay, today I decide to take today off. I'm going to be gentle with myself and I'm going to do A, B, and C. So what's important there when we use comfort to feel good is that we've made the conscious decision to do so. So it's the same with food, making the conscious decision to eat a particular food. So I have the conscious decision right now at age 51. I make the conscious decision every Saturday is my cheat day and I eat all the naughty foods or I don't really like that term naughty foods because it implies that it's something that's unethical. I eat all the comfort foods on that day that I feel like eating. So the key here is premeditate. So I've kind of gone off on a tangent there, talking about different things. I'm sure you're sitting there with bated breath, waiting for me to announce the 10 secrets to eating well and losing weight safely. So important that we do it safely. I mean, if you are starving yourself to be thin, who are you pleasing? It's certainly not yourself, and it's certainly not your family and friends. And I hear you, I've been there. I remember as a teenager, and I remember as someone in my 20s, and I remember at other stages in my life of depriving myself from food because I didn't feel good. Really, at the end of the day, who are we pleasing? So, secret one, ask yourself why you are choosing to be a certain physical self. Why? Know very clearly why. So if you say to yourself, I want to be thin, okay, I'm leaning forward here, my friend. I'm leaning forward and I'm looking into your eyes right now. Why do you want to be this physical self? I want you to describe to me. So stop what you're doing. Lean forward to me. I'm leaning forward to you. I'm looking into your eyes, deeply into your eyes right now. I'm asking you, what sort of physical self do you want to be? Define what sort of physical self you want to be. Tell me, what words? What does that physical self look like? Size, measurements, shape. How freely do you want to move? How do you want to feel in your clothes? what I'm looking for here is definition, clarity, crystal clear clarity, my friend. What do you want your physical self to look like and be like? I'm waiting here. You can hear the waiting music. Okay, so secret one, you have to know why. And question your why, evaluate your why. If you find yourself wanting a particular physical self because society asked you to, you don't do it for society, you do it for yourself. Now I'm pointing my finger at you right now. You choose that physical self for yourself, not for society, not for your partner, not for the friends down the street. You choose a physical self for yourself. Know your why. Secret number two. Slow and steady. When you ask yourself your why, know your values. What are your values? Your values might be family. Your values may be health. Your values may be career. Your values may be loyalty, commitment, punctuality. What are your values? Your decision to have a particular body type or body appearance or physical self must relate directly to your values. I had a client once that said that this isn't quite body related, but it's close. Said he wanted to compete in triathlons. It was his goal. He wanted to compete in triathlons, and he had a business where he was a dentist, and he loved his family. And I said, okay, give me your values here. So he said fitness, career, and family. And I said, if you want to do a triathlon usually takes about 15 legs a week. 15 legs means 15 different types of exercise. So you've got your swimming, your running, your riding, cycling. If you want to do triathlons, you will not have enough time to work and run your business, and you will not have enough time to be with your family. I didn't actually tell it to him in that way. I asked questions so that he answered the questions himself. There you have a value clash. His career clashed with his fitness goals, clashed with his family. So make sure that you're aware of your values and your desire to have a particular body supports your values. Your body should be the body that allows you to have friends, that allows you to have fun, that allows you to achieve your career goals, that allows you to keep healthy, that allows you to sleep. Values, know your values. And coming back to secret 2, slow and steady wins the race. I have a nickname by some of my friends, and I'm called the tortoise. I'm moving around in my chair here. I'm called the tortoise. I like this name, this label, because I used to be like the Speedy Gonzales, and I used to run everywhere and fall over my feet. I still fall over my feet, but I'm the tortoise, so I am more slow and more steady with the decisions I make and the behaviours that I take up. With your physical self, the physical self you want to be and the physical self you are, and they're both connected. Slow and steady. This means no fad diets, no low carbs. Low carbs mean you will crave carbs. Your brain actually can't think and can't conceptually think or connect ideas if you don't give it carbohydrate. And the kickback effect or the follow-on effect of depriving ourselves of carbohydrates is that we store the carbohydrates more effectively. I personally agree with low GI, and I personally agree with eating regularly. So, slow and steady, be a tortoise, premeditate, know what you want. Be a tortoise and stick to the tortoise approach. No fad diets, my friend. No crash diets. Choose a diet. And when I say diet, I mean diet in the word food plan rather than deprivation. I actually don't like the word diet because it infers deprivation. I like to talk about food planning. Even though the word diet by definition means what we choose, what nutrition we choose, society has given the word diet a different connotation. And that connotation is desperation, deprivation, denial. Let's take those words out of our vocab. Deprivation, denial, desperation. And let's look at moderation, being the tortoise, slowly and steadily making our way to our goals. So what do tortoises do? Tortoises plan their pantry. So go to your pantry. You might want to do that now. Open up the doors. Now look in that pantry. Is that a pantry that supports a tortoise, or is that a pantry that supports a hare? Are you ready for the winter there? Do you have meat in your freezer? Do you have frozen vegetables in your freezer? Do you have any sauces? Throw them out. Unless you've made them yourself, throw out all the concentrated sauces. You are a tortoise. You are not a hare. Throw out your sauces. Make all your meals almost completely yourself most of the time. Excuse me, you're going to hear the kids moving around the house because it's prime time and everybody's doing their thing as we do in the evening. All lovely. The kids are watching TV and they're reading books and they're pottering around. So look at your pantry. Plan. Failing to plan is preparing to fail. So look around your pantry. Now open your fridge. What's there? Is it organized? What do tortoises do? They write down what they eat. They prepare what they eat. I often, with disposable plastic containers, make up a week's worth of food. I often do this with my children at different stages so that they can feel good about who they are. I often pre-plan food for my children as well so that they get the healthy component in and they're not allowing their blood sugar to drop. And suddenly when we allow our blood sugar to drop, which is when we go without food, so maybe if we go without food for 90 minutes, then we're suddenly hungry and we feel famished and we want a quick fix. We want to be a hare, a rabbit, quick. I'll put a sweet sauce or a high salty food or a fine sugar in my mouth and I feel comfortable, but I'm not going to achieve my goals. Be a tortoise. Plan, predetermined, make decisions before time. Be proactive. Do not be reactive most of the time. Now, I use the word most of the time because sometimes life goes pear-shaped, and when it does, I don't think we should be over-obsessed with our bodies or our appearance. There's times in life that we need to go to the shop and eat a block of chocolate. We all know we have those moments. And when we have those moments, it's okay. It's okay. You know yourself. You decide when you need a block of chocolate because you're the tortoise. Okay, so point 2 of the 10 secrets to eating well and losing weight, be the tortoise. Walk around your house. Is this the house that belongs to the tortoise? Is this a house with planning and preparation and decision making? Is there clutter in your house? Because clutter often reduces our ability to think clearly. And the tortoise always looks at their schedule as well, their diary. So is your diary so full up that you don't have time to plan your meals? I can hear some of you saying, I just don't have time. Well, I'm putting my hand on your right shoulder here. Feel that I'm putting my hand on your right shoulder. I'm leaning forward. I don't have time. I, Lauren, really, really don't have time. If I can find time, you can find time. Plan your food. If you really want this, you'll do it. Be a tortoise. Okay. Point 3, well-being. Having the right body for your life is about being well. It's about moderation. It's about health. It's about balance. It's about health. It's about balance. It's about you knowing what well-being is about. And well-being extends beyond your body, well-being extends into areas of the mind, the spirit, the soul. But we exist, our soul exists within a physical body. So if we don't look after our physical body, our soul is going to be compromised. We're not able to clearly and definitively and calmly meditate if we haven't eaten. We're not able to clearly meditate if we're not looking after ourselves physically or if our immune system is compromised. So being well, what does being well mean for you? What does being well mean for you? Know what it means. Now it crosses over the definition of mind, body, spirit. What is being well for you? Disclaimer here. Or not really a disclaimer, but a little clause I put in here. Be careful of the media. Be careful of needing to be accepted by others. The media tells us that we should be skinny, we should be beautiful, and we should never age. The media tells us that we should be madly in love with lots of money. The media tells us if we buy a particular watch or if we buy a particular cream in a container, all will be well. Well, you know what? We're all going to get old. There's always going to be times when we're carrying a few extra pounds, and perhaps at that particular time, because of grief or whatever shift in our life, it's important. We cannot please the media. We cannot always go to impossible lengths to belong. We must have a sense of self. What does being well mean for you? And is that definition of being well balanced, healthy, and sustainable? Secret number 3, be well, my friend. Secret number 4, be the person you want to be today. It's fairly common in Australia. I don't know about where you're from, but in Australia, many people use the word gonna. On Monday, I'm going to lose weight. On Monday, I'm going to give up smoking. On Monday, I'm going to work on my relationship. On Monday, I'm going to start spending time with my family. On Monday, I'm going to start saving money. On Monday, I'm going to go walking or do yoga. Gonna. Be the person today that you wish to be. If you find yourself saying, I should do this, I will do this, I will's okay actually, I am going to do this, why not do it now? Ask yourself, why not do it now? What comes out of your mouth is who you are. Your body ages, you wrinkle and your body will eventually turn to dust. You are. The meaning in your life is what comes out of your mouth and what you practice. Always, always, always conduct the behaviours that mirror and reflect the stuff that comes out of your mouth. If it comes out of your mouth, do it. Be the person you want to be today. Be the person you want to be today. Eat for the person you want to be tomorrow. Train for the person you want to be tomorrow. Do yoga for the person you want to be tomorrow. Meditate for the person you want to be tomorrow. Eat, watch your food for the person you want to be tomorrow, and you will have the body today that you want tomorrow. Point 4, be the person you want to be right now. 5, watch your water, as in make sure you have enough water. Now, everyone needs a different amount of water. They say 8 to 12 glasses. It's different for each person. Make sure you don't dehydrate, because when you dehydrate, it's difficult to know if you're actually hungry, how much food you need, how well you are, your brain isn't fed. So drink water, and I have a lot of herbal teas. I'm always walking around the house with a beautiful cup of caffeinated tea or herbal tea. I love detox teas. I love green tea. I adore peppermint tea. Oh my goodness, organic peppermint tea. Just love it. And for something very, very special, I will put a tablespoon in my dreams, a teaspoon of rice malt in my teas, and I'll make a feature of it. So my tea will be in a beautiful cup on a beautiful saucer. And so it's a real feature, a real ritual that I look forward to and experience at the time. Okay, the next point brings me to make a feature of your food. Sit down at the dinner table. Sit down at the dinner table. Have a knife and fork. Put flowers on the table. It's not so much flowers, it's the fact that you're making a feature of your eating. Some people eat in front of the TV, or they may eat over the sink. Sit down. Have a beautiful plate. Set the table. Have a bunch of flowers or an ornament. Have a candle. Say a blessing at the beginning of the food. So you're really acknowledging that you love your body. You're acknowledging that you're replenishing and nourishing the body, and you're making a real experience of it. So feature it. Make a feature, a special feature, so that you notice yourself eating, and eat very slowly. Chew each bite several to many times. So you're really sitting in each bite, and as you chew, think about the texture of the food. Think about the taste of the food, the aromas of the food, what the food feels like, what it looks like. Arrange it artistically on your plate. Experience the food. Make a feature of it. The next point, and I've lost count here, ritual. I think we're up to 7, ritual. Make a ritual of your eating. So try and repeat these rituals each day. So eat your breakfast, lunch and dinner at the same time, and always have morning and afternoon tea too. So keep yourself eating regularly. Be a tortoise. Eat at the same time each day. Ritualize it by having a blessing. Closing the end of the dinner with some sort of ritual, whether you're grateful and say thank you God, or thank you the universe for this meal. I'm now leaving the table. Don't leave the table. My children always want to leave the table to watch their TV show or something like that. Don't leave the table until you have thanked God for the food. Always have an opening blessing and a closing blessing. With that comment, there are times with rituals that you don't necessarily follow your eating plans, such as weddings, Christmases, birthdays. It's important when we engage with others that we sometimes take time off our healthy eating plan in order to engage with others with their way of celebrating. If you're invited to a wedding, obviously you eat the food that's given to you, because that's part of engagement. That's part of community. That's part of being a member in friendship. So with ritual, it's important to be ritualize with what you want with your body. But part of that is also engaging with others proactively, with commitment, with loyalty, with empathy. And that may be, maybe a friend invites you over and says, can you please come over? My partner's left me and I feel awful. And you go over and they say, please share a pizza with me. There's a time and a place that you may agree to, or other times you may not. You work out the balance. How? How do you work out that balance? Number 1, you're the tortoise. Know who you are. Premeditate. Have balance. Make decisions, and sometimes go gently on yourself. Go gently on yourself. Be gentle. Okay, next point, very, very important, and one point I really relate to. Exercise. It's not going to happen if you don't exercise. You want to stimulate your metabolism. Now, one way we can stimulate our metabolism, which is our fuel burning capacity, one way to stimulate your metabolism is by using by-the-way exercises. By-the-way exercises are such things that you can just do by the way. So an example of a by-the-way exercise is park your car 1 kilometre away from the bus stop or train stop. So it's exercise that's just fitted into your normal day. Or if you're at the shops, park away from the shops at the end of the car park, maybe with a remote control. Don't use the remote control. Get up and actually change the channel on the TV. That way you're getting squats in. Every time you go to the toilet, you can put the toilet seat down and do 20 squats on the toilet seat. Or you can do a quick stretch, leg stretch, when you're in the toilet or brushing your teeth. Another thing is don't use a microwave. Walk around the kitchen. So you're cooking. Go for walks each day. Walk the dog. So there's various examples there of by the way exercise. Each day go walking. Walking doesn't have to be this huge chore where you walk for 40 minutes or 45 minutes. If you can, that's fantastic. But I often say to my clients, go for a walk for 6 minutes in the morning and 6 minutes in the afternoon. Make it accessible. Make it accessible to you. Make it realistic. Think of the SMART method. Make your exercise specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time referenced. Exercise. Now, a really important part of exercise is weight training. I do a lot of weight training. I would probably do about an hour, maybe more, most days. When my life gets pear-shaped, which it does, I might drop that down to 15-20 minutes. But I'm an absolute Trojan, Terminator with exercise. Weight training is so important because by building up a dense muscle or a muscle that's more densely packed, you burn more body fat at rest. You burn more body fat at rest. And with women, it's a myth. Weight training does not build muscle bulk. It does not. That's just a myth. You need strong muscles for aging. You need strong muscles to kickstart that metabolism. Weight training, really important that you understand how to do that. Now, free weight training is better than machines, but it's like ballet or piano. You need to learn how to weight train effectively. So you need a little bit of help with that. So it's very easy to hurt yourself with weight training. So make sure you get help with it. So I've looked at by the way exercise. I've looked at the absolute vitality of weight training. The next point here is yoga and meditation. So most of my life I've been obsessed, is a pretty accurate word, with swimming. I was a terrible swimmer, but still did it all the time. Kayaking, cycling, bodybuilding. I was really a type A personality, obsessed with hardcore training. I loved hardcore training, and I wanted to have this incredible six-pack. I wanted that amazing six-pack. And I trained so hard to keep that six-pack. As I've got older, the six-pack is not so important to me, and happiness and well-being is more important to me. And I found that yoga and meditation keeps me feeling content, supports my immune system, helps me to sleep. But the other thing that meditation and yoga does is it reduces your hunger. Often we feel hungry, or we think we feel hungry when we're distracted. When we meditate regularly, we don't feel as hungry. It's amazing. It's really amazing and very true, and research supports that. Also, another benefit of yoga is it elongates muscles. A longer muscle, or a muscle that's learnt to elongate, contracts more effectively. A muscle that contracts more effectively burns more body fat at rest. So indirectly, stretching will help you have a greater sense of well-being, burn more body fat. Sleep also, while we're talking about training, sleep. When we sleep, our metabolism increases. When we deny ourselves of sleep, our metabolism generally decreases. So sleep is absolutely essential for losing weight, eating well, changing your body. So finally, getting to my last couple of points. I'll have to apologise to you. I've written these notes here and I've lost what number I'm up to. So I was talking about meditation, yoga, and weight training. Finally, the final point here is to have a sense of self and to truly sit in your sense of self. so you know who you are. If you want a great body because you want a great body, if you want a great body because society tells you to, your friends, that's not going to bring you happiness. The body you want, the body you can have, is about supporting your spirit, supporting your soul, supporting your sense of self. This has taken me a long time to get my head around this, and I'd have to admit I'm still getting my head around this because I've got two sides to me. I have my ego that wants to please society, and I have my sense of self that is less egoic. And I think if any of us say we have no ego, I don't believe that's true. Ego is about wanting to belong, and as we're social and we're a herd animal, we all want a sense of belonging, but it's about balancing it out, our ego side and our sense of self. So our ego side is the one that wants to be the sheep, that wants to belong, that wants to please society, that wants to stop aging, that wants to be slim, that wants to be beautiful. And then our sense of self that doesn't care what other people think, that has our own motives, our own decisions, our own values. We want to walk the balance because we do need to be a member of society, engage with other people. And being socially approved of is important in our whole scheme of physical and emotional health. So finally, wrapping up, have a sense of self, identify with a sense of self, and be aware of your weaknesses. So if you find yourself saying, I've got it all made, I know who I am, I'm completely comfortable with who I am, I'm the greatest, well, you know that there's more learning to be done. It's about constantly reviewing, accepting, adjusting, reviewing, accepting, adjusting, reviewing who you are. So the 10 secrets to eating well and losing weight safely is to premeditate, plan, decide, know yourself. Be well, my friend. Be well. You live once, one life. Do you want to live that life being obsessed about being skinny and pandering to some ridiculous ad? Or do you want to run around with your kids and feel good? I now want the physical self most of the time, so I can get up in the morning, be sprightly, play basketball with the kids, have fun with them, journal with them, and enjoy life. Your physical self is about enjoying your life. And if the physical self you desire takes away from the enjoyment of your life, oh, maybe you need to review your definition of your physical self. So they are my 10 secrets to eating well and losing weight safely. They're secrets because most of us in Western society don't adhere to these, because if we did, America and Australia would not be the two most obese nations in the world. Australia, I think, is now statistically the most obese nation in the world. And obesity, having fat that surrounds your organs, there's nothing okay about that. We need to be able to move freely. We need to be able to look after our joints. We need to be able to be fertile so that we are able to have children if we want to do so, or look after the children we have. And if we don't want to have children, then look after our dogs, cats, or whatever we want to do. Our physical self ultimately is a beautiful vessel, an amazing, immaculate, miraculous vessel for our soul. So what's your vessel like that houses your precious soul? You have infinite possibility. Does your vessel honor your soul, or does your vessel compromise your soul? If your beautiful physical self compromises your spiritual self, sit back with acceptance and change it. Don't blame yourself. Don't jump up and down. Don't berate yourself. Change it. I hope you're keeping a journal. Journaling is a big part of this process. I believe in you. I hope this has been helpful. please subscribe to my iTunes podcast and also my YouTube channel because that helps me. Be well, sleep well, walk daily, and be with each and every delicious moment in life. Thank you for sharing this time with me. Thank you for having a cuppa with me. You be well, thinking of you.